And good morning. All right, we're running a little behind this morning. It's my fault. I completely lost track of time. But how we doing this morning, Cameroon?
Running behind?
Indeed.
Cameroon.
It's okay.
Man, I am not a lowland country in Africa in which you can find lots of gorillas. I am also not a shrimp.
And gorillas, not to be confused with guerrillas. You ever seen Captain Ron?
No, I know the exact thing you're referring to.
Oh, you meant Go.
Huge difference.
It was a fun dinner last night, Steve. Thanks for noticing.
Yes.
We went and had tacos, and piles and piles of tacos with Scott Moucher, the Cynic comedian, big friend of the show, and his mom. It was the first time I met his mom. Sweet lady. It was a good night. Of course, Royster was there with Iron Horse and Pam. It was a good night. Oh, Trish, I think Steve's talking about the taco thing we did last night. Yes, the shrimp thing. I took my boy, Michael. I took him out for shrimp yesterday for lunch. We had the endless shrimp at Red Lobster, and he kept throwing both fists in the air and shouting, "Infinite shrimp!" It was almost like a Beavis and Butthead routine. Infinite shrimp! And my 6-year-old, not interested in the fried shrimp. He was all about the grilled and the scampi. I ate 4 or 5 dozen coconut shrimp along with a large assortment of the rest of it. We had a good time. It was a good day. So, we got a couple of things we want to talk about this morning. What do you want to hit first?
Okay, In-N-Out Burger.
Okay,
let's get In-N-Out with this story.
Let's do In-N-Out Burger. We'll just get In-N-Out. Okay. And the In-N-Out Burger story is not our title story this morning. Oh, I didn't pull anything up on that. I honestly don't know if there's much to pull up, but you want to introduce it because you brought it to my attention to begin with.
Well, yeah. Apparently, In-N-Out Burger told California, no, we are not going to become a SATO branch of the government and help you enforce your mask mandate. That's, we do cheeseburgers, okay? We don't do vaccine mandates. So, yeah, that's...
And, this is actually representative of... It's a great little microcosm of something that we've talked about on this show many, many times. One of my biggest problems with wokeness in brands is, wokeness generally is bothersome, but take the wokeness out of it for just a moment, and I don't want politics in my brands. Right? It's one thing to say that you're a veteran-owned company or you're a minority-owned company or whatever, and, hey, I'm a veteran and I want to support other veterans. I'm a minority and I want to support other minorities. Okay, cool. But am I supposed to choose am I supposed to buy my coffee based on whether or not chock full of nuts supports abortion or uses, I don't care. Or rather, I don't want to care about what you do politically as a company. Because you're a company, you shouldn't be doing politics. And I mean that very, very seriously. As a business enterprise, I would obliterate the lobbying industry. Get your nose out of my pocketbook and my government.
Well, that's reason 4,449 for the fair tax. No more lobbyists needed, because everybody pays the exact same rate.
I saw a meme the other day that said the current tax plan makes criminals out of taxpayers. The fair tax makes taxpayers out of criminals.
Yeah, that'd be the thing. So, are you gonna pull one of these up so touch it real quick?
Media traffic, XKs, and freedom. Sure, freedom alerts. You get some traffic today. Good morning, sunshine.
Man, what a name.
Freedom alerts. I might have to check you out more often. So, San Francisco shuts down In-N-Out Burger for refusing to be vaccination police for government. Authored by Jeffrey Jackson and Patrick. Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to have to switch out my ear in just a second. In-N-Out Burger's chief legal and business officer, Arnie Wessinger, is set to release a statement after the San Francisco Department of Health closed one of the top California burger restaurants locations today. The San Francisco Department of Health closed our restaurant, he wrote. According to Wessinger's statement, In-N-Out Burger employees were allegedly not preventing the entry of customers who were not carrying proper vaccination documentation. Okay, so it's not even like a mask mandate type of thing.
It's a vaccine mandate.
Show me your papers?
Yeah.
Screw you. Beyond the famous California institution's location properly and clearly posting signage to communicate local vaccination requirements, the SFDH has attempted to require In-N-Out Burger employees to act as health police and enforcement personnel for the city.
Because that's what you want. Because you want a guy making $9 an hour to cook your fries, to also be the one that stands at the door and checks your paperwork. And look, y'all, if you've never worked at a restaurant, you got to understand, it's a different world, okay? People you know, people you like, people you love, turn into assholes when they're hungry, okay? And put another barrier in between them and their cheeseburger is just going to get somebody a mud hole stomped in them, for starters. Then you couple that with how creepy this is. So it's like, well, it's not the government checking your vaccination status. It's In-N-Out Burger checking your vaccination status. It's not YouTube. I'm sorry. I set that up beautifully and then ruined my own pun. It's not the government censoring your speech. It's YouTube censoring your speech. Anyhow, same basic idea. But,
you know, you still have the First Amendment right, assumed freedom of association.
But yeah, like, I'm just, again, Steve says flub verbal, no offense. Yeah, I get that, and we're all big nerds. But no, remember, I don't think we need to go much deeper into it, but this is another one of those things that's like, hey, remember a couple of years ago when we said, hey, they're going to force you to wear a mask, and hey, they're going to force you to get a vaccine, and hey, there's going to be vaccine passports, and hey, there's going to be death panels, and, you know, and I realize I'm kind of hodgepodging a few of the predictions we've made over the years together, and yet...
But that's okay, because we keep getting them right.
And this all goes in the same vein. It's almost like, now YouTube, I'm not saying this is the case, okay? But it's almost like if you could engineer a disease that was just deadly enough. You know what I mean? Just deadly enough. Scare the shit out of everybody and then take control of everything. It's almost what it's like. I'm not saying that's what it's like. I'm saying that's what it's almost like.
Have you heard about the new AIDS?
No.
AIDS?
No.
Yeah. Because YouTube won't let anybody talk about it.
Wow.
So we're not going to talk about it.
Talk about what?
We're not going to talk about AIDS on this program while we're on YouTube.
Gotcha. Anyhow.
They talked about it on Mug Club. Just, go look on Rumble later. See what we got. This clear government overreach is intrusive, improper, and offensive. I think that may have been a flubbed verbal and not necessarily a flubbed editor. Excuse me. Federal and state vaccine mandates fueled a great divide, pitting business unions, legislators, further fueling the division. This is the piece that I wanted to touch on before we move on to the blue phase. Further fueling the division are inconsistent actions from public officials like California Governor Gavin Newsom. Dear California, You had a chance, and you voted for more of your same. You had the opportunity to vote for liberty, prosperity, and you voted for shitty streets and drug needles in your public parks. You voted for the continual downfall of Western civilization. You voted for the death of liberty. And your cancer is spreading across a nation. And just like intentionally infecting somebody with HIV, that should be a crime, even in California. But it's not. So, who is publicly driving lockdowns and vaccine mandates, Gavin Newsom does not vaccinate his own daughter. In addition to that, California Assemblyman Kevin Keeley tweeted that the embattled governor is fighting to remove the vaccine mandate for a union that reportedly gave over $1 million to his campaign. So this labor union that paid to get Gavin reelected is getting a special favor, and the special favor is immunity to the vaccine mandate. Funny, immunity to a vaccine, that's hilarious. Not unlike, I don't know, the post office, which had nothing to do with Joe Biden getting elected. Not at all. Fairest, most fortified election in history. So, the funny bit. Tell them the funny bit, and you tell them because you told me, so I'm not going to steal your thunder on it.
Thanks.
About the In-N-Out thing.
Oh, just that I was reading on Twitter that basically everybody that was within striking distance of an In-N-Out burger went and ate In-N-Out burger last night.
Just as a little something, let's see what happens here.
I know Crowder did.
See what happens if I just search In-N-Out on...
Yeah, no.
Okay, it wasn't quite the Twitter explosion I was hoping for.
Well, whatever.
We'll go check it out another time. Okay, so
let's get to topic.
Let's get to something spicy. Okay, before I introduce it too much, let me say this about this. If we get any blowback, if we get thrown off the air over discussing this topic, the criticism is going to be this: that we're attacking a transgender person because they're transgender. And let me be very clear. That's a lie. That statement is a lie. It's the same lie that was told when Colin Kaepernick took a knee and we said, Kaepernick, you're a liar. Your statement is false. The statistics, the data do not back up your position. You're making false claims. And the criticism, the rebuttal was not, no, here's data that corroborates his claims. No. The rebuttal was,
you're a racist.
You're a racist, and you don't believe that black people should have the First Amendment right to free speech. I never said that. In fact, it's not difficult to point at many, many, many Democrats who are currently elected officials and say, that person is white, and also lying about the same thing that Kaepernick is lying about. So,
yeah, and I don't watch professional football anymore, thanks Colin Kaepernick. But at the time, I was watching professional football, so I was hip to a lot of the things that were going on. And I'm telling you, Kaepernick did what he did absolutely as a stunt because he refused to grow as a quarterback. Had an amazing first season, no doubt about it.
But now he's made a fortune off of his political activism. He has failed up.
Yeah, can I get a piece of that pie? I don't even need that big of a piece of that, because I could fail, brother. I could fail.
I want to go places with that, but I just don't have time. So, speaking of failing up, Rachel Levine transgender HHS official Rachel Levine named first ever female 4-star admiral in Public Health Corps. Now,
it's not corpse?
No, Barry. It's not corpse.
I love that you got exactly where I was going to take that joke immediately.
Oh, all them soldiers and airmen and corpsmen. Jesus.
You know, what was awful is he did it he didn't just do it once and then correct himself.
No, he continued to do it.
He did it for the entire speech.
I love them corpsmen. Really? Did we start enlisting the zombie corps? I mean, I'm in. It sounds effective, functional. But yes, Steve, they promoted Richard. Or no, I'm sorry. That's incorrect. They did not promote it.
Her.
They swore her in as a 4-star admiral. This is not a person who was previously a 3-star admiral or even enlisted. This is not a person who has ever served in the military in any capacity whatsoever. Now, there are programs, there have historically always been incentive programs where you come in a little bit higher than the base rank.
A little bit higher.
There are programs when you're enlisting, for example, if you enlist without doing anything special, you come in as an E1, fuzzy patch, know nothing private, right? You've got a little piece of Velcro on your chest in the modern uniform where you should have rank and you have none, and your first promotion is to PV2, E2, private, which is one little birdie eyebrow, right? Get your one chevron there. I went in as a specialist. I had some college under my belt, some professional stuff. No, I'm sorry. I went in as a PFC. I made specialist almost immediately, but I went in on, I got a little bit of that bump, and I did not start as an E1. I started a little bit further up the chain because I had done some things relevant to my enlistment. There are similar programs in the officer corps where you begin as, say, a cadet in a military academy, and when you actually get sworn in, when you actually get commissioned, you start as an O2 instead of an O1. Those exist.
Yeah, but it's small.
I'm not aware of any program where you go to, say, I don't know, in this case it'd be Annapolis, and you sign a contract that says, as long as you complete your 4-year degree with us, we'll go ahead and make you a 4-star admiral. Okay, no. Good friend of the family, I'm not going to use his name in this context, but good friend of the family was a colonel. Dad, if you're watching, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And, I mean, long-serving colonel. I don't know how long. He may have done 40 years or over 40 years. Very effective officer, very good officer. And that, y'all need to appreciate that. That's a lot coming from me, because if I had my way, we would abolish the entire officer corps. And that's a whole nother thing. This activity here further supports my position that we should abolish the officer corps. Eliminate it.
No Twitch chat today. I'm only just now realizing.
No, it's okay. But basically, we asked him, so are you going to retire, or are you going to hang out and get that star? And he said, and he's right. He was right. He said, I'm not going to get the star because I don't know the secret handshake. And, it was tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of a joke, but the fact of the matter is that once you are a general officer, in every service but the Navy, it's brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, general, right? That's the 4 stars: brigadier general, major general, little general, lieutenant general, and general. And then in the Navy, it's rear admiral lower half, rear admiral upper half, vice admiral, admiral. So this show might have been funnier if they made him a rear admiral.
No. If you look, and what's funny is if you go through and you read some of these stories, like, the witness that saw the swearing in was a vice admiral. And I swear, you can see it on the vice admiral's face, doing everything he can. Oh yeah, happy to be here. I want to murder every motherfucker in this room.
Yes, because this is stolen valor.
Is it stolen valor when...
100%.
Okay, but...
This person who has never served in the U.S. military...
They were sworn in.
A day in its life... Being sworn in...
She...
And,
was sworn in. Hey, look, I'm
just
saying...
This is a dude pretending to be a chick, dressed up like a sailor, pretending to be operating in service of the country.
It's a joke,
Robert Downey Jr. was less confused than this bitch. And the fact that she has been sworn in as a 4-star admiral, and the headlines are all running this first ever female 4-star admiral in Public Health Corps. Because, by the way, Admiral Linda Fagan was the first 4-star admiral. Female 4-star admiral. That's a thing that already happened. Right? Just like how Pete Buttigieg is not the first gay cabinet secretary. That actually happened under Trump.
Yeah.
But no, he doesn't count because he worked for Trump. He wasn't even gay.
Yeah, and
he didn't even count as gay.
Yeah, and look, and this is done entirely for woke points. I have no doubt about it. And if you go through and you read these articles, Levine says that she's proudly going to wear the uniform every day. I'm like, well, yeah, I would too if I got handed one with 4 fucking stars on it. Sure.
This is no different than any homeless bum walking around with a jacket on that he got at a frickin' thrift store. And saying, man, I was a command private major during NAM, and that's how I lost my foot. It didn't have anything to do with the method diabetes. You help a soldier out. I'm not saying every homeless man that's wearing a field jacket is
full of shit.
Pulling stolen valor is full of shit. We do have a legitimate problem with veteran homelessness in this country, but stolen valor. I submit that what's happening here is a crime. Not a crime against morality, ethics, not like, oh, this is horrible, it shouldn't happen. No. It's against the law.
So, speaking of the Public Health Corps, Corps.
I think what you meant was the corpse of legitimate public health.
What happened there is that was a word, that was like a tongue twister thing because I was trying to make another pun with the word, but then I accidentally said it wrong. Yeah. Anyhow, I'd never heard of the Public Health Corps until yesterday.
Okay, I served in the U.S. Army for 7 years, deployed in defense of this nation in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, and closed with and engaged and destroyed the enemies of the United States of America. Voluntarily, and I spilt my blood, sweat, and tears on the battlefield to destroy your enemies, and, well, I enjoyed the hell out of my time there. I was an outstanding intelligence operator who was deeply and well-versed and grew up in a military family with a father who served 36 years Command Sergeant Major, and I say all that to say this, I never heard of this group.
Yeah, and apparently they've been around since like 1865 or 1895 or something.
I never heard of these people. Yeah, in fact, all that, and we had our first baby. Not we. I've got a wife upstairs somewhere. We had our first baby in a Navy hospital, in an Army hospital, Tripler Army Medical Center. Which, you know what? And I never heard of these people. So what were you saying again, Kim? I got to show y'all a picture of Tripler.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, I'd never heard of the Public Health Corps until yesterday. And, like, apparently they are considered a branch of service. So, hoorah, or whatever they say over there. But it's sort of like, I swear I can say this. Okay, they didn't make Levine, like, a 4-star admiral in the actual Navy. I guess what I'm trying to say is
They made it a 4-star admiral in the fake Navy.
Yeah, in a branch that didn't count, basically.
She's a wave. The Women's Auxiliary Voluntary Enlisted Corps.
Oh man, it's like, okay, I swear it's like, okay, so Space Force is too new.
Progressives making waves.
It's like, how can we get lower than the Coast Guard? I know, the Public Health Corps. But it's pure tokenism. Like, if the Biden administration really wanted to shove this up somebody's ass, I mean,
which apparently they're into. Have you seen the Hunter laptop?
Oh, I've seen enough of it to know I don't want to see the rest of it.
Oh God!
Yikes! I mean, like, yikes on all the bikes, man.
Hey, Royster's with us. Morning, sunshine.
Morning, sir.
Good to see you yesterday, brother.
It was good to see Mr. Royster yesterday.
And Iron Horse. Hua.
Yeah. But this is pure tokenism, and it's insulting. And the question is, okay, is this more insulting to the military generally, or is it actually more insulting to trans people?
So, I talked about this around the movie Hidden Figures. It's the first. You're the first human, or the firstness of you is irrelevant. That film Hidden Figures, it was played up about this whole, well, we went to the moon and everybody knows about all these white men that were involved, but they've never heard of these brave black women
that did math,
that did all this important math. And no. Ask probably 99% of people on this planet, and the majority of them can tell you that Neil Armstrong was first. A slightly smaller number can also know that Buzz Aldrin was there at the same time. Right? I dare you to name me another person that was significantly involved in that space program. I don't care what color, gender, etc. Of course, Cameron.
I'm a big nerd. I could actually name other people, but I'm not the person to which you're referring.
But the vast majority of people cannot name another person other than Neil Armstrong and maybe Buzz Aldrin. And so these 4 women who were behind the scenes, no, of course nobody can name them. That's not because we're a bunch of hateful racists. It's because, you know what? I've got a lot of other shit I need to remember than the entire list of everybody that was involved in even the most important and historic government activities.
Well, and when you talk about big, important, historic government activities, there's simply no way to give credit to everybody.
Hey, Aubrey's back! Yay!
Hey, Aubrey, it's good to see you. I was actually just asking about you, Aubrey. I was like, nobody from Twitch.
Yeah, we were just saying, where the hell's Twitch?
There's nobody from the Twitch in the chat.
Y'all were letting us down.
In the chat and the Twitch.
Bring your friends.
Yeah, please bring your friends. Anyhow.
By the way, Aubrey, you're on Twitch. Would you like to watch us play video games and be generally vulgar assholes about it? Just let us know over here in the chat.
Yeah, that would be great.
We play video games.
But look, when you're talking about things that are actually historic, that are team efforts, that have people that are behind the scenes, that are in fact hidden figures. Oh, I see what you did with your pun of your movie. Yeah, good one, guys.
You guys are so smart.
But Operation Moonshot, that was a thing that lasted a decade and had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who were integral to its success. And look, what about? And I'm blanking on the names of the astronauts, but you remember when they were doing like a test launch and they used to have the astronauts inside the cabin, and the cabin used to have pressurized oxygen in it.
Oh yeah.
And there was a spark, and you know what happens when you have a spark and pressurized oxygen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have an acetylene torch. So these guys...
Full of people.
Yeah, this thing was full of people. So, like, literally, NASA watched 3 astronauts cook to death on the ground in front of, like, God and everybody, okay? It was awful, okay? And, but they're less important and than these black women that did the math. And it's not that the black women that did the math are not important, and it's not even that I have a problem with you making a movie about the black women that did the math. The problem is the implication that somehow, well, now we're correcting the history and we're going to be on the right side of the history and we're going to virtue signal. And it
wasn't just an implication, it was a direct accusation that was made explicitly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? These women were, they tried to suggest that these women were the most important figures in the program, that it couldn't have happened without them.
Which could all well be true, but to act like that there's not dozens of those same people, like it couldn't have happened without a whole bunch of engineers and astronauts and other. I mean, it's really the same thing here, just on a different scale in real life. Now, instead of taking an actual historic event and reverse engineering it to fit the modern politic, now we're trying to take actual things that are happening now and engineering them so in the future they'll fit what they want the narrative around the modern politic to be. So, yeah, Admiral Levine.
And,
the first 4-star Jewish transgender. God, that is a mouthful.
Yeah, I mean, if you need that many caveats to be the first something, you're not the first.
You're not the first.
You're just not.
You're not. And
you're not even the first rainbow dildo butt monkey to try and read books to children. You may just be the first one in a public library.
With Buzz, yeah, and James is pointing out that Michael Collins was the 3rd astronaut on the Apollo mission. Thanks, James. That's
James just got a point added to his 99.
Exactly. And look, you know what's really crazy is there's an easy way around this.
Stop virtue signaling?
Well, that, but no, Rachel Levine is the first transgender 4-star admiral. Boom. Nothing else needed. No Jewish, none of the other things. Boom. Rachel Levine is the first 4-star transgender admiral. And that, I think, actually, the fact that they don't do that gives away the whole game. Because if they do that, then it's very obvious the only reason Rachel Levine got sworn in with 4 stars is because Rachel Levine was transgender.
You mean kind of like how Vice President Spit Roast got into office?
Well, no, she actually did something for that. Whether or not you approve
a lot of spit roasting.
Yeah, whether or not you approve of her methods, she earned that.
I don't know if earned is the word.
Well, she put in a lot of effort.
Sex work is real work? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. I would, boy, that's a whole other thing we can't go down right now.
So major political office is totally a reasonable compensation to pay for illicit activity?
I don't think it, well...
Spit roasting.
I mean, again...
Illicit.
Again, we're way long, but no, I'm one of those that thinks like all those laws about prostitution and whatnot should...
Of course we're way long. How else do you manage to achieve a spit roasting?
Okay. Oh.
Hurrah!
Anyhow.
Save for the tourist, Doc. You can knock me into the fire. All right, y'all be safe out there. We will see you tomorrow morning. And, did you have anything to close on?
No, just... no, you ruined me. You did.
we're way too long, so we're gonna go lean into the wind for a little while, and we'll see you in the morning. Aubrey, you're right. We are funny. Tell your friends.